Hello YouTube, my name is Sam, aka The Sensible Leftist, and in this video I'm going to be talking about one key piece of information that conservative YouTubers are leaving out when they talk about the recent viral videos about women complaining that they're not being approached. And before I continue, if you end up liking this video, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, recently some videos have went viral showing women who are complaining that men are not approaching them anymore. Case in point.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my god, like please. I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point. Please.
I better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so fucking sick of this shit.
Oh my god.
Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very fucking simple.
Now, a lot of conservative YouTubers are basically correctly pointing out that this is the result of women for the last decade or so telling men not to approach them because they don't like it. Well, guess what? Men have said, okay, fine, we won't approach you, and now you are left around a decade later with women complaining that they aren't being approached. Now, one of these conservative YouTubers shared a tweet by someone that basically compiled a list of women of places where women said not to approach them anymore. Now, disclaimer, this account is an extremely right-wing account, but you know what? As the old saying goes, a broken clock is right twice a day. So I'm going to read this to you. And this is hilarious, not in a funny way, but in a sad way. But here goes. In order to help women understand why men aren't approaching them, I compiled a list of places where women said it's not okay to approach them. At work, at church, out in public, at malls, coffee shops, libraries, in public parks, at restaurants, at retail stores, on buses, public transportation, sidewalks, work-related events, parking lots, at co-working spaces, grocery stores, while she is at her car, in a bar/pub. So basically everywhere. Now, one thing I want to mention here about all this is one thing that these conservative YouTubers are not mentioning in their videos. At least ones that I've watched. Now, back in 2018, comedian Bill Maher had a closing New Rule segment called Hollywood's Gray Area, where he pretty much said, well, he danced around it, but everyone knew what he was talking about. Take a look.
Not every guy who makes a woman uncomfortable did it because he's an asshole. 2017 was a great year for women because finally men have been put on notice. Harassment is going to be noted now. So you're going to have to think of another way to meet women. All men are playing with 5 fouls now, as they should. But the movement falters if it thinks we can make pain-free the messy transition from 2 people not in a relationship to 2 people who are. A Harris poll says 38% of Americans have dated a coworker, and 31% of office romances have led to marriage. The rest ended happily. And yet Facebook and Google have policies where you can only ask a coworker out once. If she or he says no, you cannot ask again. Right, because feelings in humans never change. We're rocks. Fuck, women like these rom-coms precisely because the men do change. Christian Grey starts out as a sadist, and by the end, he's traded in his butt plug for a heated toilet seat. Love Actually is somehow a lot of people's favorite movie, but if it was made today, it would have to be called Inappropriate Actually. It's nothing but men hitting on their underlings, and one character is such a stalker, he shows up at the door of his married crush, who winds up chasing him down the street and kissing him. Most women I know call the police if you leave a note on their car. I'm not saying men act the way they do primarily because of movies, but they have been getting this message for a long time that this is what women want. And it is what women want, but only from the men they want it from. Problem is, we don't know which one we are.
So basically, he was dancing around the fact that women do want attention and women do want to be approached, but only by the men they want to be approached by. Now, I do want to mention that a lot of these women, if they were approached by the wrong man, would probably be making videos, not that they're being approached, that they're being approached by creeps. Now, what defines a creep to a lot of women? Well, you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. Yes, there are some guys that act creepy towards women intentionally, hoping that something else they have compensates for it. There are some guys that act creepy towards women not because they're intentionally doing it, but because they're doing it for whatever reason, because they're not realizing it. And unfortunately, a lot of society would rather make fun of these men and call them names instead of giving them the proper help they need. But this is one thing that a lot of these conservative YouTubers are leaving out. That oftentimes, the fine line between a woman being receptive to you trying to approach her and hopefully giving her your phone number and considering you creepy is whether or not she finds you properly attractive or not. Okay? I'm just going to tell it to you straight. Now, that's the thing, is that we cannot have a rational discussion about this without bringing this up. And quite frankly, it needs to be said, you know? And that is why a lot of men no longer approach women. Because it's bad enough that they get called a creep if the woman doesn't find them properly attractive or not. But now with the age of social media, these women are going to go online and basically put you on blast. All because you weren't properly attractive enough for her. And what's even worse, that some of them might actually try to shame you by posting you in the video. Now, I'm going to say this right now. You know, when it comes to this is why, you know, so many men have given up on approaching women. Because we don't want to be called a creep simply because we may not be the right version of attractive enough to the woman. But as Bill Maher alluded to, we don't know which ones we are. So a lot of guys would rather err on the side of caution. And then you are in this mess where women are now saying that they're not being approached at all and that they're going home lonely every night. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say on this subject. If you want to like, comment, share, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I shall see you again on the next video. Take care, guys.